Well, the AFC South has been busy in the trade market, making some big-time moves. You had the Titans go and trade for L'Jarius Sneed, cornerback from the Chiefs. And then today, you had the Houston Texans make a big-time move, going and getting Stephon Diggs, wide receiver from the Buffalo Bills. And so I think it's time for the Jaguars to jump in on the trade action, make a big-time move, make perhaps the biggest splash of all of them, and go get wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk from the 49ers. So in this video, I'm going to give a specific trade proposal, and then we're going to break it down together how this could be a win for the 49ers and a win for the Jaguars, because you need it to be a win-win for both sides to say yes. And if you're a 49ers fan watching this video, let me know. Would you take this deal? Would you tweak it at all? If you're a Jags fan, would you pull a trigger on this trade, or would you tweak this at all? So here's the deal. I'm going to break it down in the comments. I'm using Draft Tech scoring, the classic Jimmy Johnson valuation, which is essentially going to turn up and say that this deal will equate Brandon Aiyuk's trade value to a late first round, about the 25th overall pick. And you can see it again in the comments. But in this deal, the trade proposal would be the 49ers receive the Jacksonville Jaguars mid-first round pick, their mid-second round pick, both in 2024, and Zay Jones, wide receiver. And then the Jaguars would receive wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk plus the 49ers late first and late fourth round pick in the 2024 class. Again, break it down in the comments. And again, it equates essentially to the 49ers getting a late first and Zay Jones for Brandon Aiyuk. Here's why I think the 49ers would do it, and why I think it would be a win for the San Francisco 49ers. First off, they get to jump a lot of wide receiver hungry teams. They're going to jump the Buffalo Bills, who pretty much have no wide receivers on their depth chart right now. I think Curtis Samuel is maybe wide receiver 1 for the Bills, so they're almost certainly going to be drafting wide receiver 28. You're going to jump the Ravens, Cowboys, some other teams that might go wide receiver as well. And by jumping to 17, I think you have a great shot at getting wide receiver number 4 for the 49ers instead of what most likely would be wide receiver 6, 7, 8 at pick 31. So they can replace Brandon Aiyuk and go get a Brian Thomas Jr. or an A.D. Adonai Mitchell. Both are tall guys, ran 4.3 in the combine. Both have potential to be superstar level tier 1 wide receivers. And of course, you restart the rookie contract, so you don't have to go and pay Brandon Aiyuk. That is the biggest advantage, selling point for the 49ers, but you also get a second round pick, a top 50 pick in this draft class, where you can go get a really strong starter at offensive line if that's the direction they want to go. This class is loaded at O-line, or just a strong solid at whatever position that the 49ers want to go with pick 48. Then they also get wide receiver Zay Jones, who when healthy has been a very good wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 for the Jaguars. He could be a great fit as a veteran presence as a wide receiver 3 behind Deebo Samuel and whatever rookie wide receiver that the 49ers would select. Or if they go a different direction and just want to waive Zay Jones, they could certainly clear some cap space to go in a different direction. So I think that is a lot of advantages for the 49ers in this trade proposal. For the Jaguars, why they would do it, most Jaguars fans would say, hey, do it, because we haven't been able to draft a true wide receiver 1 in over 2 decades. So let's just go get a proven guy instead of risking it, gambling it in the draft. Also, there's a lot of questions about Trent Baalke's draft history and selection, and he's definitely not a guy that likes to go and draft wide receiver high. In fact, as a Jaguars GM, the highest draft pick he's spent on wide receiver is the 6th round. So I think that makes a lot of sense. Brandon Aiyuk would, of course, be a proven wide receiver 1. They could trade for him and then sign him. But they would also get a late first round, number 31st overall, where they could go and get maybe CB5, CB6. I think of a guy like Kool-Aid McKinstry from Alabama fell to pick 31. That would be a home run pick for the Jaguars. Go get a great man corner because corner is another big need for the Jaguars. And then they would also have 3 fourth-round picks, which potentially they could use that together and trade up to around pick 75 if they felt like a player fell to that range that they really liked. But the real reason, again, is wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk getting Trevor Lawrence, a true wide receiver one. Brandon Aiyuk just turned 26. He's gotten better each and every season for the 49ers. He's not a guy with elite speed, but he excels at getting open. He runs great routes, he makes big plays, and he does a lot of things that the Jaguars wide receiver core just hasn't had in a long time, certainly since they've had Trevor Lawrence. And again, he's a guy that I think will continue to keep getting better. Only just turned 26. Each season he's improved. In 2023, he finished with 75 catches, 1,342 yards, 7 touchdowns, finished as a second-team All-Pro wide receiver. And so instead of risking it all in the draft, going with a gamble at pick 17 for wide receiver, or waiting until the second round and going wide receiver, they go get a proven guy, a guy that is already a star with the potential to be a top 10 wide receiver in this league, to be a potential superstar, a dynamic duo with Trevor Lawrence for the next 4, 5, 6 years. And so that's why I think the Jaguars would do it. But again, we'd love to hear from you. If you're a Jaguars fan, would you do this deal? If you're a 49ers fan, would you do this deal? Would you tweak it at all? I think this is a potential blockbuster deal. I think it could be a win-win for the Jaguars, for the 49ers. Let's see if it happens in the next couple weeks. But if you love Jacksonville Jaguars, if you love this sort of content, make sure you hit subscribe. Let me know any other videos that you would like for me to cover in the Jaguars and the NFL draft coming up.